Rotarians and friends, it is my great pleasure in introducing the guest speaker for today. Dr. Tristan Campbell is a field-based physicist, researcher, and advocate using an unexpected skill, axe throwing, to raise awareness and funds for Parkinson's disease. After completing PhD in applied physics, Tristan built a career at the intersection of geophysics, remote sensing, and data science, with a focus on ecological restoration and environmental analytics. With an all-thwarted careers including entrepreneur, retailer, and beekeeper, he has always blended curiosity with action. At age 40, Tristan was diagnosed with an early onset Parkinson's disease, a life-changing moment that would give Parkinson's the axe. What began as personal physical therapy and social connection, axe throwing soon became a symbol of resilience and a platform for advocacy. Through his campaign, Tristan has competed and shared his story across 5 continents, demonstrating that Parkinson's doesn't only affect the elderly, and that movement, connection, and support can transform the journey. His efforts now raise vital funds for Parkinson's WA, whose nurse specialist service provides life-changing informed care for people living with Parkinson's. Tristan continues to balance research, family, and global awareness work with humor and determination. Whether behind an axe, in a lab, or on the computer making an Excel spreadsheet, he has a focused mission to give Parkinson's the axe. One throw, one story, and one act of support at a time.
So, basically, this is his. Und dann ist his emotion comes from emotion accept and this emotion. So this is why they come from. Because Parkinson's is a drug fetish, my most scared of what's in Parks. So if I put anything good, bad, and different, I cry. So apologies on some of these things, but the other fits on it. You can have emotion, you can have emotional conscience where you cry. You say that and more. Or you go to mass, so it's with some disorder. So Parks is mostly seen as a physical symptom, but emotional and mental effects are also really strong too.
Can I just say, Tristan, we love you. We're so thrilled to hear. And you're probably super emotional because you know you're in a room of people that 100% support you and your family. So I'm going to say, let's give you a big round of applause.
Good afternoon, Rotarians and guests. Well, it's been about a year since I was last here. In that time, I have thrown a lot of axes, possibly too many, and there have also been some very sorry developments in the field of Parkinson's research. First up, a summary of the past year's axe searches. We had the first ever axe throwing tournament series in the WA in March, in the Great Western, which created the world's greatest axe doubles competition. And this is one more overall this weekend. This is called a Robin Hood. It's not enough a design at them, but it is probably business dots. We also launched the world's first dice-based axe throwing game vehicle, which we used to demonstrate how I had to adapt my throw over the course of the evening, while helping throwers become more skilled. As an aside, I've also taught myself how to code, how to create apps. It's been fun too. I travelled to Wollongong Elders to compete in a tournament series and placed 5th in the Olympic. So I was one step up project. There was a draw his name is axe name is Boza. She's a world-leading researcher at Wollongong. She leads a Mother Ted Foxstar Foundation funded at Deersox Wishes Lab, that making wind brains in dishes to test toxins and cures. In September, Parkinson WA's Walking in the Dark fundraiser that was cancelled with weather, the first time in 15 years. So we organised a last-minute axing event with a goal of throwing 3,000 axes in one day. One Mexican person in WA living with early Parkinson's. We also had an inflatable target for families. This is Felix, he's our mascot. And this was the book in the park is a family-friendly event, and we had none of families come down the day that could go to the wall even later. So on the day, yes, we threw free health actors between all of us. The highlight though was actually one of our youngest heroes. Benny, he raised over $1,000 himself, doing coffees and teas Benny for the week for a key event. So Benny, he raised almost a quarter of total funds for our team. It was amazing. Most recently, there was the Pacific Regional Championships in England at some with our mini mascot got in big trouble. We have Eric, who's the big guy, and then Felix is the in little trouble. Let's see, I guess get all gone this. Unfortunately, the weather really knocked down my symptoms and medication schedule. So I know that the effect of Parkinson's is poor thermoregulation. So while at home to the degree for those days, it was overloaded at humidity, and so the inability to regulate my temperature chewed my meds faster, and so my medication was just all out of whack. Unfortunately, my meds ran low at crucial times in every single hot fun series. So I had doing about 2 or 3 poor throws while I adjust to meds on, meds off, and that was not happening to that. The time after this championship was to do a road trip to Adelaide, doing fundraising on the way. My daughter was due to fly to Brisbane, be my support person for the first week, but the huge storms meant to be followers cancelled at the last minute. So, after trying with Phallic all night, to wrangle a solution with the airlines, I competed in the main event championships on Sunday on this 1 hour speed. My hands didn't work, so I could throw it all. Over the next 5 days, I drove in 2,000 k's in a high side of Canada on motorways with 40 km plus crosswinds and buffered by trucks or below 2. I managed to run 4 fundraising events over the time, but I didn't have capacity on my own to push the media and enough to get more, I'm sure. But we've got some public good news back then that comes in. After getting to Canberra, we decided I had to cut the tour short, as it wasn't safe for me to carry on myself. A few years ago, this would not have been an issue, even with daily Parkinson's. I can still do a lot, everything takes my effort, everything from waking up, getting dressed, brushing my teeth, and speaking. It's all hard. Our most viewed social media post for the whole trip is a video of me at the airport in the morning, filming while the tour is cut short. We do try to upload the spin on things that we can, so the few warts and all PDFs we do, I'll hand you that. Which is a good segue into next part of my talk, the current research illness and of Parkinson's. So the main medication used to treat Parkinson's was developed in the 60s. My dad was taught about it at the med school in Ukraine. While there have been new and similar medications to support this, there have not been any primary medication over half a century. There have been some recent developments in delivery, which is I'm very excited about. Because I was one very well medication. So we start off tape, I had a cane, I was very stiff. That's when meds off. And then meds on, I'm no anyway. And so, because with the oral dose, it comes in the other day. So there's a intestinal pump was developed years ago, which has been around for a while. Well, that's actually quite invasive. And this is me, and events are coming now. This will go from glasses to then. And I mean, the change is really fast. It's really weird. And so the intestinal pump, and now there's a subcutaneous pump that's been approved, which is this basic, and that is should be rolled out in Australia early next year. There are also clinical trials underway for a slow release patches for improved cerebral delivery. In the past decade, a massive increase in research funding, primarily off the back of the Michael J. Fox Foundation, has led to the discovery of a cause-based Parkinson's. As this missile approach that causes the neurodegeneration originates in the gut health is very important. Personally, I find taking advanced probiotics makes a huge difference to my body, and maintaining a balanced diet is obviously key. There are evidence studies indicate that the Mediterranean diet can reduce symptoms and sleep depression even. For a long time, laboratory breakthroughs in Parkinson's have found cures in just a few decades. However, the cures have remained a few decades away for over past half century. They're always 20 years, 30 years, and then they're always next level away. But this has now changed. With the discovery of this organisation, there are now several vaccine trials underway in the world. So these are some very promising results to reduce antibodies that target the protein. For me, it will not be cured without hot progression. Deep brain stimulation, where electrodes are implanted into the brain and use pulses to reduce symptoms, has been around for a few decades. But AI is creating big advancements in efficacy. As the neurodegeneration of Parkinson's is physically different to everyone, DBS needs to be tailored to a particular issue. Using AI in the impulse design, the system can actively learn what timing, frequency, location, and power of pulses is best outcome with speech and visual. And also, this can be trained to adapt over time as the disease progresses. But one allows a cure. As the clinical trial of safety of stem cell implants in Japan this year is certain to be fast-tracked for approval, hopefully next year. While the trial was too small to have valid efficacy results, it did have a completely safe outcome, which to bring stem cells in the brain is important. Of the full cohort, half went back 2 full stages of the 5-stage Parkinson's progression scale, and it kept the perfect for another 2 years. For me, with early stage Parkinson's, the algorithm will be new. For me, with early stage Parkinson's, the outcome would be a cure. And with that sense of development, I'll give my full life back now and to the future. So here's my Parkinson's. It really sucks. And things need harder, but I'm so hopeful. Until this things come to fruition, my family and I, and over the 100,000 people in Australia with Parkinson's, be doing that. Which is why the services support of Parkinson's WA is so important and need life changing.
Tristan, you've had an incredible impact on this audience today. Thank you for doing that. It's created an awareness that probably very few of us didn't know anything about in regard to Parkinson's. How many people have got a stiff arm or a stiff neck today? Can't be honest. Tristan's story started with, or his story starts with, it started with a stiff shoulder. That's when Tristan first had, well, he didn't have an understanding then that his current life started with that stiff shoulder. I want to read out something that Tristan wrote in his story. Parkinson's is hard to explain. It's not just the tremors, it's the constant thinking. Have I taken my meds? When's my next dose? Can I eat yet? Am I okay to drive? Will I be able to talk today? It gets into everything, my speech, my movement, my energy, even how we do family life. We used to just pack up and go to the beach. Now we have to plan around medication times and how stable I'll be on my feet. One moment I can speak normally, the next my jaw just stops working. It can change in seconds. That's what people don't see with Parkinson's. It's weird like that. It's unpredictable. Thank you, Tristan. Thanks, Karen. I think that we've learned a lot today, and I think the fact that we are now aware that we've got Tristan today, but there's 110,000 people in Australia that have a similar problem.
Approximately 1 in 200 Australians have Parkinson's. 1 in 5 cases are diagnosed before 50 years old. My story is not unusual. Since recording this video, stem cell treatment in Japan has been approved. The new subcutaneous pump is now available in Australia. I am hopeful for the future, but the now is hard. Please share my story, raise awareness, and if you can, donate to your state's Parkinson's group. It will change someone's life, possibly even someone you know. Together, we can give Parkinson's the axe.